And actually, the summertime is the most conducive time for eating the absolutely number one best foods for the body. And that's fruit, seed-bearing plants, the high water content. They're just loaded with vitamins and minerals. And sometimes, you want those comfort foods. You tend to be more inclined towards those comfort foods during the winter months, eating a lot heavier food.
Welcome back to another episode of Real Talk with Dr. Jim Sharps. Thank you for taking the time again to join us, Dr. Jim. Really appreciate you taking the time to do this series, and I'm sure the viewers of the channel appreciate it as well. For those of you that are new to our channel or our content, we aim to look at natural, we look at medicine, we look at health, we look at wellness from the perspective of original medicine, and really aim to demystify. We appreciate there's a lot of knowledge out there. We try and be a trusted source for anything to do with nutrition, lifestyle, wellness from an original medicine perspective. So do check out our wider content. We cover a broad range of topics. But today we're continuing our theme of summer is coming. I'm based here in the UK. The sun has started to peep out a little bit. So we're continuing that series in terms of looking at the summer. So Dr. Jim, in terms of the summer coming, health goals are kind of very much at front of mind for a lot of people. If they're at the gym, they're making changes in their nutrition and lifestyle to be in good shape for the summer months. So really the first question for you is there a safe time to start dieting? Is it better to do it in the winter? Is it better to do it in the summer? Is it safe to start dieting during the summer months?
Yes. So is it safe to start a new diet program during the summer months? And I would say that is absolutely the best time of the year to start a new program. It's time to come out of the cocoon, the harsh cold and the rain, and you got the sunshine and all of that. So that is actually an ideal time to be able to start a program. You also want to look good. You're going to be shedding some clothes. You want to shed some of that excess weight so you can get out there, you can exercise, and you can diet at the same time. So I would say that the summertime is probably between that and the middle end of the spring season is absolutely the best time to start a new diet program.
Oh, that's wonderful. And in terms of that timing, the winter months being more of a challenge, is it because biologically our bodies aren't so inclined to make those changes in the winter months? Why is the summer a much better window?
Well, good question. Why is the summer a better window than the winter? And you're right. The winter time you kind of bog down. You got all these heavy clothes. You're eating a lot of heavy foods. You got a lot going on. You don't have a whole lot of sunlight. So it is a harsher time all around. Emotionally, mentally, the new year, you're starting up, cranking up everything. Just a whole lot of reasons why by the time you get to the summer months, you kind of got your groove swing. You got a lot of that harshness behind you. No more snow, no more cold rains and cold weather. So yes, it's just that time of the year. I mean, just look at nature. Even the flowers, they want to bloom out. They want to shine. They're smiling. They're coming out of the ground. So everything is kind of dormant and heavy tends to be more dormant during the winter. And the summer is a time for blossoming and renewal.
Yeah, that's very clear. Thank you, Dr. Jim. So is dieting during the summer sustainable? So are kind of choices and approaches in those kind of very advantageous summer months, are they sustainable carrying through into the winter? Or would you say that, a summer regimen built around more kind of the diet? I know we've covered this before, Dr. Jim, in terms of usage of the word diet, but is something starting in the summer sustainable, or would you say keeping dieting in that traditional term in the summer months is what you would advise?
Really good question. So that it might be a good time to start a diet, but is it sustainable can you carry it through to the fall and the winter? And that's a matter of discipline and, and motivation. But you absolutely can, especially if you like the results, you're more inclined to want to maintain those results. So yes, it absolutely is sustainable, depending upon your lifestyle, depending upon what's going on in your life. It depends on how well you're able to sustain it. But absolutely, there's no reason why a good program started during the summer months couldn't be sustained throughout the year.
That's very clear. And again, just following an ancillary question, Dr. Jim, you mentioned discipline. Is there anything you have to say on discipline being harder or easier in the summer months as they transition to the winter, or is it very much the conditions are advantageous in the summer and it's just a matter of using that time to build a good habit that you can carry through into tougher winter times?
Yeah, so what about the summer makes it more sustainable, makes it easier to make that transition? What are the key characteristics? And the key one is you're just so burdened during the winter. You got so many other things you're dealing with. You just came off of some pretty significant holiday seasons. You got Thanksgiving, you got Christmas, you got New Year's, you got all of this stress, and then all of a sudden now you have this opportunity that's behind you. And so yeah, it's just that time of the season where it just and you're not wearing heavy clothing, you got more sunlight, so there's so many different reasons from a circadian cycle standpoint, from the energy and nature, generally speaking, and all of your surroundings. You don't have the harsh walls that you've been behind. Nature is beautiful. That light, it actually even awakens the whole endocrine system. A lot of the internals are awakened. So overall, from an internal standpoint, from a biochemical standpoint, from a physics standpoint, from a circadian cycle standpoint, from a seasonal standpoint, the summer is an absolutely superb time to be able to start a new diet lifestyle regimen. Much easier to get more exercise. You can walk outside. You can go swim outside. There's just so many things that you can do during the summer that you're just precluded from doing during the harsher winter months.
Yeah, and maybe in terms of very practical level, Dr. Jim, what are some examples of good foods to eat in the summer? Because I know that digestion generally is slowed in the summer months. What are some good foods to eat if you're kind of considering a different diet or nutrition and lifestyle regimen during the summer, kind of focused around kind of weight management, etc.?
Yes, that's a really good question. What are the best kinds of foods to eat during the summer to kind of help you along with your goals for health, for activity, for maybe losing weight? And actually, the summertime is the most conducive time for eating the absolutely number one best foods for the body. And that's fruit, seed-bearing plants, the high water content, they're just loaded with vitamins and minerals. And sometimes, you want those comfort foods. You tend to be more inclined towards those comfort foods during the winter months, eating a lot heavier foods, eating a lot more packaged foods, and overall, just heavier foods to kind of get you through those harsher winter months. So you can eat lighter. Obviously, you can eat more melons, which are very high in a whole host of minerals, very good for the functional integrity of the kidney, so you can flush the body out and nourish yourself at the same time. And you can eat a broad range of fruit, all of the different colors, red and pink and blue and purple. And that's very significant in terms of getting the full spectrum of those 84 minerals that you need. Whereas you tend to be closer to a mono diet and a much heavier diet during the winter months. You can add that variety of all the different kinds of fruits and vegetables that are available in a copious amount, and they tend to be a little bit colder foods than the more heavier cooked foods that you tend to lean towards during the winter months.
No, that's very clear. Appreciate that clarification. So in terms of, again, another practical step as we just close up on this episode, how can somebody watching this video think, okay, I hear you, Dr. Jim, the summer is a good point, I've got the favourable wind, so to speak. How can I set up a flexible diet to kind of work around my commitments, family, work, etc.? How can, do you have any suggestions on how one can go about doing that?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. How can you have flexibility in your diet during the summertime? And quite frankly, you kind of answered the question. That's the time of the year when you can be most flexible. You kind of are kind of locked into a heavier diet during the winter, but you have that flexibility. You know, you have your good days and your bad days during the summer, so you in between those episodes of just adding more fruits and vegetables, you can actually do a lot more juicing as well. And if you need those heavier foods, those that, they say, for example, that you still need your protein and all of that, where people associating those more heavier foods, the meat and dairy products being those protein diets, there's very good protein foods, very high protein in foods like rice and beans and peas and legumes and grains. And you look at these tropical countries, they're very sustainable foods, and they're ubiquitous. They're all over, so you can get that variety, you can have that flexibility, and as well as flexibility in diet, it can be flexibility and very affordable for you, because those staples are available year-round, and they tend to be a lot less expensive than those heavier foods, and available during those summer months. So for a lot of reasons, the summertime offers just so many opportunities for transitioning to a better diet, for having flexibility in your diet, affordability in your diet, and just basically using original medicine in a very powerful way to have a very happy, healthy, and enjoyable summer period, which can set a really great foundation for buoying you through the fall and the winter months as well.
Very clear, Dr. Jim. And final question, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
We have what we would call a cost of living crisis here in the United Kingdom. Inflation globally is meaning that there is a pinch and a pressure on budgets and on purses and wallets. How can you eat healthy on a budget, considering those factors? There may be people practically watching that want to be healthy, want to make positive nutrition lifestyle decisions, but it's too expensive. What kind of suggestions do you have there?
Yes, it can be for some very expensive to kind of transition to a natural diet, but actually the summer gives you a lot of opportunity to save a lot of money. A lot of time, since produce is so abundant, it tends to be cheaper in the summertime. So fruits and vegetables are a lot less expensive because of their abundance. It's more expensive during the winter months. So you kind of have a built-in opportunity to have a very affordable way of getting some very high nutrition foods. And as I indicated earlier, certain staples like rice and corn and peas and beans, they tend to be very available. And meat and dairy, that can be very, very expensive, not only during the winter months, but during the summer months as well. So, they're almost giving it away. You have all these farmers markets that you can take advantage of, where people have so much produce, they just loaded it there, and you can get your really good deals during those summer months. So it can be a very affordable experience. You might have to exercise a little bit of ingenuity and go a little bit maybe beyond to find these farmers markets and these places. But even if you go to your local Walmart and regular places of shopping, the supermarkets, you'll find an abundance of food. And let me tell you the advantage. Fruits and vegetables are perishable. So while they're plentiful, they have to move it. So you'll find all these incentives, and by keeping that in mind, if you are an intelligent shopper, you can figure out the best times to get those really great deals, and then like get the abundance of avocados, for example, and make the guacamole. So you can use some creativity in creating some very well thought out meals, smoothies and things that are very tasty, very comforting to the system, and very much compatible with the requirements of the summer for a much lighter but very substantive meal. You don't need a whole lot of heavy sugary foods, salty foods, etc. So even potatoes and yams and all of those other kind of foods that happen to be in abundance, stretching out and adding more variety, see what's available, and with some creativity and with some good ingenuity and trying to figure out what is the crop that is the most available, you can have a really good time. A little bit challenging in the beginning, but it can be a very fun time and having very creative opportunities of not only being healthy and happy, but adding variety and spice to your life during the summer periods.
Variety and spice to the life. I think there's no better place to end the episode today. So Dr. Jim, thank you so much. And I hope that those bits of insight have been helpful for you as you kind of transition into the summer months. As always, if you have any questions, please do leave a comment. If there are any themes that you would like us to go over and hear from Dr. Jim on, leave us a comment. Do reach out to us in the links in the video description. More than happy to take that feedback on, and really we want to create content that is valuable and informative for you, for our subscribers and our viewers. So that's it for today. Until the next time, bye for now.
Bye for now. God bless.